down, please. We're about to get started. So there are actually chairs here. Okay, that clock is 5 minutes slow, so we actually are starting more or less on time. I am Leonora C. I'm the chair of RCTC, and tonight is our transportation town hall, and we've got a lot on the agenda. It's going to be pretty packed. So, and a lot of these things are things that are really important to the neighborhood, so I'm expecting a lot of discussion. How we're going to handle the discussion is that if you want to speak, raise your hand, and I'll acknowledge people's hands with numbers. So we'll start off, I'll just go around, and if you're number 1, then you get to speak first, and then the person number 2 behind you. So we keep things relatively smooth, and people get their turn. So, having said that, I'd like to introduce RCTC's new Vice Chair and Transportation Committee Chair, who organized tonight, Alden Connor. Thank you, Alden. And she's going to take it from here.
Yeah. So I want to start with some announcements. You may have seen this when you came in, and we've also got a whole bunch of flyers over here. We've got some really exciting town halls coming up next month. The first one is going to be a Know Your Ballot town hall, pros and cons of the November ballot measures, presented by the League of Women Voters in Oakland. So that's a great nonpartisan group is just going to go through the ballot measures and give pros and cons. And then even more exciting, a couple weeks later, we're actually co-hosting a candidate forum with our 2 Assembly District candidates, Buffy Wicks and Jamal Beckles, and that's going to be at College Prep. And you do need to get tickets. I didn't put the website on here. If you grab a flyer or check out that flyer on the table right there on your way out, it's got an Eventbrite link, so you need to RSVP. It's free, but you just have to RSVP. And there is parking there. And then Stu wanted to mention next Wednesday?
Next Wednesday.
Land Use Committee meeting will have people from CCA presenting to talk about their plans for the land. So that usually draws
California
a lot of
College of Art, their Oakland campus.
So we're actually I'm gonna just turn it over. Well, here's the agenda. So I'm gonna turn it over to Ryan to talk about bike lanes because he wanted to finish and get home, put the kids to bed. So, and we'll go to your presentation here. Oh, wrong one.
Great. Well, thanks everybody for coming. And actually, a small font alert. There's going to be some maps with some small fonts. So there's chairs up here if you can't see the screen or you wish to come out here. So please go ahead. So
the issue of the Lost Avenue Broadway, I didn't see it on the agenda there.
It's there. It's in the last. There are a whole kind of jumble of things in the end. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go fast because I've done this a couple times before, and I need three times as much time, and I actually want to not talk as much as I want to hear from the group here. So I'll just quickly introduce myself. My name is Ryan Schuhard. I'm a resident. I live on Chabot Road. I have a 2.5-year-old who I ride my bike around with, and a 6-month-old that I hope to do the same with. I also drive a car, and I want to get bikes out of the way of car and out of the way of parking when I'm driving too. So that's where I'm coming from. I'm asking the city of Oakland to make a minor but significant extension of bike lanes on College Avenue, which I'll shortly explain. And I just want to give you all the quick overview and then open it up for comment, public feedback. So can I, just quick show of hands, who here is a cyclist? That's great. That's great to see. And who has kind of a general idea of what I'm proposing here? Okay, glad to see such a good familiarity. And then we're not doing input yet, but just who knows right now they're going to want to make some kind of a comment when we get to that point? Okay, so we're going to have to do those quick, and I just want to know that there's a lot of it. Okay, super. So I'm not sure if I said thanks, but I appreciate everybody coming here at night. It's not easy for everybody to come after work, so thanks for that. Okay, so here's the quick briefing. The City of Oakland is going to shortly repave all of College Avenue, and they are installing bike lanes on both sides, all the way from Broadway to Claremont. So that's happening. That's baseline. What I'm proposing to do is to extend the bike lanes that go from Claremont Avenue all the way to Alcatraz. So that's the section right by Safeway where it gets really narrow. It's a crosswalk. It's super congested. And that's the big idea. So proposing that the city do what's called a change order to the current plan, cover that. The catch, next slide please, is we have to remove 9 parking spaces. And it will be the 5 spaces in front of Phil's Avenue, Phil's Coffee Shop, and the 4 in front of Safeway. So that is about 1% of all parking, public parking for 2 hours plus within 4 blocks. I paced it out, there's about 700 parking spots nearby. Parking on the west side would be unaffected, so that the parking on the cold copy side would be unaffected. And then the 2 spots by Matamo Sushi down by Alcatraz, those would also be unaffected because the road widens. So with this minor change to the parking, you get protected bikeways that go all the way, not only from this stretch, but connect from downtown Oakland all the way through up to Alcatraz and central Berkeley. So it would create a corridor that doesn't currently exist. Wouldn't create any negative impact on handicap or delivery access or anything like that. So that's kind of like the technical proposal. And I should say I'm in touch with City of Oakland staff, and they say this is technically straightforward. It's pretty inexpensive to do. Shouldn't be too difficult technically wise. And also, I've been working with East Bay Bike, and Dave Campbell in the back, the advocacy director. He sort of helps see this through and facilitate some of the discussion with ODOT. Next slide, please. I've got a list of about a little over 100 Rockridge residents who live in Rockridge District 1 who support this, and maybe another 30 or so who just sort of nearby. I won't get through all of the benefits. There's a ton of benefits for this. Nobody really wants to lose parking. That's kind of the big issue that some people care about for good reason. But I would just say that aside from some of the reasons that might be obvious to everyone, it would be helpful as we get more scooters coming on, e-scooters coming onto the bike lane. We have more bike share with putting bikes on the road. So we get bikes out of the way cars. And in particular in the Safeway area, I wouldn't say that I want to reduce the parking, but one of the benefits of getting the cars out of there is you increase lines of sight and make it a lot safer for people coming out of the parking garage and trying to cross. Next slide. So I just coincidentally had some time off with my 6-month-old recently, and I spent about a month walking around the neighborhood, the business district, and talking to the various shop owners, and I walked into every single one that I could find. I was going to talk to either the owner or somebody who represented the business. And I got definitive responses from about half. Only 2 have said no. So that's it. That really said definitively to me no. After following up and having about a month or so of time. Next slide, please. So that's it. I have, if you want to see it, I've got a compendium of comments from all of the reasons why the petitioners want to do this. There's a ton more appendix information, but I think we should just probably leave it at that and then open it up for questions or public input. Should I turn it back to you?
Yeah. Okay, so people who would like to make comments. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're 5. You're 6. You're 7 in the purple jacket. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. 13 check shirt, 12 green shirt.
Could you say their name? Does that process matter? Can we ask people to say their name?
Yeah, when you stand up, say your name.
There we go, one more here.
Oh.
I didn't know it was 8. I thought it was 8.
Oh.
Okay.
Bullshit.
Okay, let me redo this, just, because I did the 8. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, 15. Okay, so 1.
Hi, I'm Sharon Taylor, and I'm just wondering if there's a bike lane to Claremont, why people can't just go down and take Hilligan, because that's what I do. So why are we adding College when Hilligan is already a bike lane?
Good question. Point of order, can we go through questions and then I'll write them down and answer them all at the end just so we make sure you're done here? Sure. Why not go?
Okay.
My name is James Brewer. Just clarification. You are proposing for those blocks taking away one lane parking.
Please speak up.
He's writing down the questions. You'll get them
I'll
in.
Still would like to hear it.
You're proposing taking out one lane of parking on one side of the street, but 2 bike lanes, one on either side of the street for the direction. Correct?
Yes.
Okay, that's not clear.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, good. Thank you.
I'll clarify that when I go back to the question. Okay.
My name's Mary Jane Freeland, and my question has to do with enforcement. That is, are there going to be signs that say bicyclists are not allowed on the sidewalk? Are there going to be people around to enforce that so that we still don't deal with scooters and bikes on the sidewalk the way we do now? And how is that? I'm not against it, but I want enforcement of these rules, which
Excellent question. Enforcement, I'll come back to that. Thank you.
Or?
I think that's me. Ryan Lau, AC Transit. If I understand the proposal correctly, it is to minimize the conflict between bikes and active traffic, which would be great because we're concerned with public transit and bikes interacting in a sort of, in a way that could cause problems.
Great. Sounds like a support comment.
If I understand the proposal correctly.
You do.
Okay.
That's exactly right. Minimize conflict. Get bikes out of the way. Make use of the bus.
Sounds good to us.
Thank you, Ryan.
I think I'm next. 5.
Go.
Reading it? Okay. I'm Nancy Bren, and lived in the neighborhood almost 30 years. One thing I don't want any less parking, because you know what that means? Less parking means they're going to park on our streets, perpendicular to College, and they keep blocking our driveways, and you know, those of you who live on them remember that. And you call the police, they don't come, the tow truck doesn't come. Also, the other question I have is, when I was growing up in Lakewood and Anaheim, we had bike training. And I think we should have that for, because bike training, not only for little kids, but for teenagers and up, because they're always breaking the rules, and they practically run over, what do you call it, pedestrians going across walking through the, you know, they see the signal and go, oh, that's for me, and they go right through where it's supposed to be walking, not riding.
That's a great point. I totally agree. Thank you for that.
Hi, I'm Jocelyn Bonham. I'm a resident and a professional city planner, and I think this sounds like a really great proposal. I'm really excited about safer bike lanes. I feel very unsafe biking in this area, and I think the more protected bike lanes we can have would be really, really a benefit for our whole community.
Great. Thank you, Jocelyn. Good night.
I think I
would miss.
Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Lauren. I'm also a resident of Rockridge, and I bike with my 2 kids aged 7 and 4 all the time on our extra cycle, and we often go up to Safeway. We probably go up there at least a couple times a week, and I would feel so much safer if there was a protected bike lane for us. I think we would probably visit there more often and use the businesses around there more often if it was safer to go there by bike.
So you actually use your bike to go shopping?
Yes, I use my bike to go shopping, and yes.
You can use more with the bike. Great. Thanks, Lauren. Who's next? We got like 10 minutes left. We need people to be honest.
I'm Annie Henderson. I live on Florio, which is a very short street right at the intersection of College and Claremont. I like to shop at ESI. I like to take my business to the smaller establishments, but it's harder to get there, especially with her, because there isn't a safe bike lane, and the available telegraph bike lane doesn't get in there. So it would be wonderful to just have this short section connected so that we did have access.
So you also actually go shopping?
I do.
Anybody else?
I think I was next. I'm Katie. I'm a resident. I live on Chabot. I'm a PhD student at Cal, and I commute up College by bike every day, and I feel like that stretch is the most unsafe part of my commute, and I would definitely feel safer. Kind of just as a commuter, I feel like there's so much chaos that a dedicated bike lane would really reduce the stress, and feel like I'm a student.
Great, thank you.
My name is Danny Helwish. I live at Lawton in Hudson for a few years now. I've been biking up and down College a lot because the bike boulevard alternatives are very, lots of turns involved. One thing I completely support the proposal for the same reasons a lot of other people have said. But also I like to live in a community where it's a reflection that our streets can accommodate all types of transportation.
Thank you, Danny. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Kim. I live in Rockridge and I work in Rockridge, actually just up on College and Broadway. And I made a map of how I currently get to work, which is a very zigzag route to avoid College because I do feel unsafe on it. But if we had a connected bike lane, as we're proposing, I would feel a lot better about going on College. We also have 4 other people who work at our small energy efficiency company right up on College. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Okay. Hi, my name is Erin. I'm a public health student at Cal, and I commute to campus up that route, and I support these bike lanes, especially the intersection of College and Claremont is very dangerous, and I personally was in a bike accident there. A car went into me while I was following the rules of the road on my bike, and yeah, I would use that area. I would go to Safeway more often, and yes, I market and the small businesses there where it's safe.
Okay. Thank you, Erin.
I'm Lindsay. I live on Boyd. I used to live on Colby, right next to Alcatraz, and I was really excited when I learned that we were putting bike lanes on part of College, but I actually don't know how much I would take advantage of them without that final stretch. That last bit is kind of the challenge, I think, for a lot of cyclists, and other people avoid, like, we can go on Hillgate with Colby, but when I lived at that corner, there's no signal, and if you want to turn left on Alcatraz, I witnessed a lot of accidents between myself and my neighbors with left-hand turns, and so being able to use, another street, I think, would be a lot safer. And I bike with my older son, not this guy yet, but not on College. I'll bike on College by myself, but not with my kid, and if we had bike lanes there, I think I'd be able to go just a little bit farther, and like other people mentioned, visit those businesses that I used to when I was walking distance, but now I don't get it by bike.
Great, thank you. Others? No questions. I will back to questions. Please, Zach.
Sorry, I'm Nathan. I'm a resident. My wife and I live just off of Alcatraz, so that stretch is a stretch that we bike a lot. I thankfully haven't been in an accident yet. I've had a number of close calls, though, especially with folks turning into the Safeway parking lot. And I know from experience in biking in other places in the city where there are bike lanes, drivers are just more aware of bikers around them in places where there are bike lanes. And so I definitely take more trips down that strip on my bike, or the bike lanes in place to local businesses and whatnot in the neighborhood.
Thanks, Nathan.
I wanted to ask about the width of College Avenue. There's enough room for a car to be parked on each side, plus a bike lane on each side.
I'll answer that when we go to questions. Good question. Okay. Well, we have to hurry, I think.
Yeah, it's probably related to your current plan, but what is the relation between this bike program and the conditions of the pavement of the streets? I see the bike route along Keith Avenue, and that's Keith Street, and that's a joke. They chose the bike lane to be in the area where the pavement is most destroyed. So that's something that needs to be addressed. More expanding the bike lanes, but the current ones are not functional.
I'll answer that. Anything else?
Go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Dustin. I live on Oak Grove. I bike up to Safeway at least 2 or 3 times a week. I've not been in a bike accident, but if I were to pick a place where I think I might have my first one, it would be that area. It's crazy, it's unsafe. I bike all around Rockridge with my son, but never there.
Okay, thank you for that. Quick questions? Can I answer questions? Thank you. Go ahead.
You're fine.
Okay.
Don't panic.
I just want.
I know.
I can slow down. I want to.
I try to,
Last time. Okay.
I won't kick you out.
So why not Hillgate? This is a really good question. We hear this a lot. So Hillgate is really good for some cyclists, but not all cyclists. And I said there's a small font. You're still going to come up if you want to see this. I've got some FAQs, and one of the questions is why not Hillgate? Or what's wrong with Hillgate? So it's not a dependable commuter route for a few reasons. One is it has very slow and risky crossings if you try to go through Ashby or Alcatraz. There's no lights there.
There is now.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
There's a light now on Ashby.
Okay, in Alcatraz, the Ashby one is new, but it's not a full intersection, but you're right, there's like a pedestrian, but not on Alcatraz. So this is my commute. I actually go to Southwest Berkeley every day, and I will not go through there. So the first thing is it's not a very good corridor in a commuter sense. It's also just out of the way for a lot of people in Rockridge. So just like in your car, if you live up in like the High Potter Chabot Road, you wouldn't really want to drive down to Hillgate necessarily. The other thing actually want to go to the shopping district. That's half of the point of this, is that East Bay Bike, I don't know if Dave wants to weigh in on this, but they found that when you put bike lanes in your shopping districts, you increase the volume and throughput of people in those stores that are actually shopping more, because people who live here want to go shopping. So that's another reason. And then the other thing that I think is interesting to think about is this bike lane, 90% of the stretch, it is just about 90% exactly of College Ave. It's going to get paid bike lane anyway. So the businesses that are along that stretch are not going to be, they're not going to benefit if you leave this corridor undone, right? They're not going to have this sort of increased throughput benefit. So that's the Hillgate answer. Question on one lane, take 99 spots on one side and you get 2 bike lanes. Yes, that is the answer. There's enough width by taking out one parking width to do that.
So you would move, the center line would move.
Slightly move over, that's right.
The whole road would shift.
Condition of pavement, the whole road's getting repaved. It's going to be brand new, sweet, whatever the surfacing is, that will be new pavement. Is there enough room? Did I answer the enough room question? There were sort of 2 room questions. I guess I did.
Is there enough room on the whole of College Avenue? There's enough room on all of College Avenue for 2 cars to park on either side and 2 bike lanes on either side.
So,
can you flip
back to the diagram? It's like the second slide. So, how it would work is, next slide, please.
Now that?
Next slide.
Next slide.
The next slide.
I'm going.
Yeah.
I zoomed in. There we go.
There. Okay, so I know this is a little hard to read, but
But she's worried about, so she's asking on the rest of College.
Yeah.
There is actually, so no parking spaces are going to be
The rest of College, from Broadway up to Claremont, is there enough room for a car to park on both sides?
Thank you. Sorry, I misunderstood the question.
And a bike lane on each side.
My understanding is yes. My understanding is the city, they're doing that, that's in the works, it's going out to bid, and I don't believe that we're removing any parking.
I think that the very top of College, near Broadway, is going to have a sharrow in the downhill direction. That's what I was told. That part is a little bit narrower than
For a small.
Yeah, it's like maybe for 100 feet.
Okay.
They were deciding They were deciding on that part to go either way because that section it was the hill. The grade. Jason thought that was the best.
Well, it's very congested on the part between Broadway and Market Hall is that intersection, because people are coming and going, parking, and so they back up, or they're waiting for a parking space. So I don't know where they're going to put the bike lane there. There just isn't room.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Apparently there is room. Whether it will work that well or not because of all of the cars that are blocking it may be another question.
Yeah.
But there is apparently room for the bike lanes on both sides on that part of College.
Okay, and then the last question was about enforcement and education. Try that one. That was my favorite question. Well, I don't want to say nothing aggravates me more than bikes on the sidewalk, but I really do not respect the sidewalk. It's not fair. It's not fair to people walking around. We need to get the bikes off the sidewalk. I personally would favor enforcement in addition to bike lanes. But it's not part of the proposal to actually beef up security or anything like that. But my experience is that as a cyclist, I weigh 200 pounds with the bike. Cars weigh 3 to 5,000 pounds. It's really dicey. And for some people, I don't excuse it, but for some people, it's a little bit of a fight or flight. They're out there, they're trying to get around, and they go on the sidewalk and they think it's safe. And some people are just rude, and I don't think that's very nice.
But I think it's against the law, actually.
It's illegal, you're right.
And if they would just put signs that told people it's against the law, you will be ticketed, maybe that would
we asked that of the Oakland Transportation Department, and they said we are not going to put up signs in Rockridge unless we can put up signs all over the city. And since we aren't planning to put up signs all over the city, we aren't going to put them up in Rockridge.
But the good news is that, bike lanes would make it less likely that people are going to ride on the sidewalk. Because they have somewhere to go.
I see them perfectly, they just go, the students, they just go as long as they're in the bike lane, it's okay, and then they go up on the sidewalk, go back on the bike lane.
I think you're right. And some people don't know, they're not from here, they're not used to riding a bike, and so they don't. So there is some education needed, and I'd love to talk with Dave at East Bay Bike about how we can, maybe find some targeted ways to increase education for people who are coming here, because I think it's a really important.